Good morning, students. Welcome to today's session. I hope every one of you understood what all we have seen so far in the last video under the topic polynomials. And today in this session, we are going to complete this lesson. So only two more sums are available. And also we are going to revise or recap what all we have seen so far in the last video about the polynomials. Okay. So let us enter in today's session. So we are seeing the topic polynomials. So in that, the general structure of the polynomial. So this is the general structure of the polynomial. So here that an minus 1, a2, a1, a0, everything real numbers. Okay, so everything real numbers here. So that real numbers means what is real number? The real number means it's a combination of rational and irrational numbers. So in the expression, the coefficient of the variables may be rational or irrational. Okay, and also it is denoted that polynomial is always denoted with the function, that is with respect to the variable here in the bracket. If p of y means the expression contains the variable y. And also we have seen already the difference between equation and polynomial. So an expression which is equal to a constant means that is an equation. An expression equal to a function means the expression denoted by which variable. So like that is there means that is called the polynomials. So that is the difference between polynomial and also equation. And how to check whether the given expression is a polynomial or not. So according to the power of the variable. So already I explained that. Okay, if the power of the variable is whole number, then the given expression is a polynomial. We can say the given expression is a polynomial. Otherwise, it is not a polynomial, just an expression. Okay, and so now we are going to recap what all we have seen so far in the last video under the polynomial. So degree of the polynomial. So degree of the polynomial is nothing but the highest power of the variable. The highest power of the variable in a polynomial is known as degree of the polynomial. So definitely the degree will be the whole number because the power of the variable in an expression in the polynomial is whole number. I already said that. So we can find out the highest power of the variable in the polynomial or in the given expression. That number is called the degree of the polynomial, right? And classification. Okay, already we know that the classification. How can we classify the polynomials? So the classification of the polynomials according to the terms and according to the degrees. So according to the terms, if a polynomial contains only one term means that is called monomial, and the polynomial which contains two terms means that is called binomial, and the polynomial which contains three terms means it is called trinomial, and four or more terms means you can call polynomial. So generally we can call as a polynomial. Okay, so this is according to the terms. What about according to the degree? If a polynomial having only one constant term, for example, p of x equal to 5, is it a polynomial or not? So definitely it's a polynomial, right? Because here variable only, that is variable is not here, only constant will be there. Then how can we call this as an expression and how can we call this as a polynomial? You can write this with variable with the power 0, x to the power 0 or y to the power 0, anything. Because anything power 0 is nothing but 1 only. So now check whether it is a combination of variable and constant. Yes, it is a combination of variable and also constant, and the power of the variable is a whole number. Therefore, it is a polynomial and it contains only one term. And according to the degree, so what is the degree here? Degree is 0. So a polynomial having degree 0 means definitely the polynomial which contains only one number, that is constant without variable. So this kind of polynomials are known as constant polynomial. Okay, so constant polynomial. So constant polynomial means a polynomial having degree 0. That's it. That means it should not contain any variables. Okay, so that is called a constant polynomial. Suppose a polynomial having degree 1, then it is ready to be linear polynomial. For example, p of y equal to 2y plus 1. What about the power of the variable here? So the power of the variable is 1. Therefore, it is called a linear polynomial, right? And suppose p of x equal to x square plus 4x plus 1. Okay. Now, so here, what is the highest power of the variable here? The highest power of the variable is 2. That is, the degree of the polynomial is 2. Therefore, it is called, according to the degree, quadratic polynomial. Okay. Suppose a polynomial having the degree 3 as a maximum power. That is, for example, p of y equal to y cube minus 1. Okay. So here the polynomial having the power 3, it's a maximum power, therefore it is called cubic polynomial. Okay. So according to the degree, we can classify the polynomials into linear, quadratic and cubic polynomial, right? And how can we classify according to the terms here? So here two terms are there, therefore it is called a binomial. Here three terms are there, therefore this polynomial is called a trinomial. And here two terms are there, according to the terms it is called a binomial. Okay, so classification. So classify the polynomial according to the terms and also degrees. According to the terms, we can classify monomial, binomial, trinomial. According to the degree, we can classify them as linear, quadratic and cubic. Okay, then after that everything nth degree polynomial. That is, suppose a polynomial having the power as 7 is the maximum, means it is called 7th degree polynomial. Okay, like that. And look at the next one, 0 of the polynomial. So what is 0 of the polynomial? So 0 of the polynomial is nothing but if you substitute any real number instead of the variable in the given polynomial, if the polynomial becomes 0, then the substituted real number is said to be 0 of the polynomial. For example, p of x equal to x plus 1. Okay. Suppose if you substitute x equal to minus 1, means what will happen? So p of minus 1 instead of variable, okay, equal to, so instead of x, minus 1 plus, already plus 1 is there. If you add these two, what about the value of the polynomial now? 0. Therefore, here minus 1 is called 0 of this polynomial. Okay, so that is the definition of the 0 of the polynomial. Suppose instead of minus 1, if you substitute any other number, for example, if you substitute 2, means what will happen? P of 2 equal to 2 plus 1. So equal to what will happen? 3. So that is not equal to 0, non-zero number. Therefore, 2 is not the 0 of the polynomial. So here the only one number minus 1 satisfy the polynomial with 0. Therefore, the minus 1 is called 0 of this polynomial. Okay. Right. What about the next one? Division algorithm. So what is division algorithm? According to the numbers, suppose if you divide one number by another number, we can get quotient and also remainder. For example, if we divide 8 by the number 5, what will happen? So the quotient is 1, right? 1 5s are 5, remainder. So what about the remainder? That remainder equal to 3. Okay. So how can we write this in a combination, that is in a linear combination, or in division algorithm, means 8 equal to, that is the dividend equal to quotient into divisor. Okay, this is quotient, this is divisor, plus remainder. So this is called division algorithm for any numbers. So any positive integer can be written in the form of like this. Okay, now we are seeing polynomial. In polynomial, how can we express division algorithm? Okay, so p of x is any polynomial. Okay, p of x is any polynomial, the dividend polynomial. Okay, and g of x is any divisor of the polynomial. Okay, and q of x is any quotient of the polynomial, and plus r of x, so that is called division algorithm for polynomial. Here p of x is nothing but dividend, like 8. Okay, and g of x is the divisor, like 5, and q of x is the quotient, like 1, and r of x is the remainder, like 3 here. So like here the integers can be written in the form of like this. So every polynomial, if you divide one polynomial by another polynomial g of x, you will get a quotient polynomial q of x, and the remainder polynomial is r of x. That remainder may be 0 or may not be 0. Okay, if the remainder is 0, then the g of x is the factor of this polynomial. That the divisor is a factor of the polynomial. Suppose r of x is not equal to 0, it is not a divisor. That's it. According to the remainder. Okay, this is called a division algorithm. So next, what we have seen means division of one polynomial by the another polynomial. Okay, so in the last in the last class also we have seen how can I divide one polynomial by the another polynomial. As I told earlierly, the division of one polynomial by another polynomial is a very important concept. In your 10th standard, some of the most important sums there in our second lesson based upon the division of the polynomial only, right? So just try yourself. That is, that's make a practice. Okay, practice it. How can we divide a polynomial by another polynomial? Okay, that is very important one, right? We have seen so many problems under this, and next we have seen remainder theorem. So what is remainder theorem? So remainder theorem is nothing but we can find out the remainder. Okay, how can we get a remainder? When we divide a polynomial by another polynomial, we'll get quotient as well as remainder. So that is one of the way of getting remainder. And another way to getting the remainder is nothing but through the remainder theorem. How can you get the remainder? So without actual division. So without actual division, we can find out the remainder. How can you find out the remainder? Using remainder theorem. Okay, the application of remainder theorem is nothing but we can find out remainder without actual division. Okay, how can you find out the remainder? So it is very simple. That is, the divisor is there and quotient also there. So we can put the divisor as equal to 0. For example, x plus 1 is the divisor, means we can put x plus 1 equal to 0 and calculate the 0 of this polynomial. So x equal to, when you transpose 1 that side, it will become minus 1. So, and we can substitute x equal to minus 1 in the dividend polynomial. So which one we are going to divide? So that dividend polynomial we can put minus 1. For example, x square plus 2x plus 1. So that is the dividend, and that is the divisor, means x plus 1 is the divisor, means through the remainder theorem, how can you find out the remainder? You can substitute x equal to minus 1 here. So minus 1 whole square plus 2 into minus 1 plus 1. Okay, so minus 1 square is nothing but 1, and plus into minus, and 2 into 1, 2 plus 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. So 2 minus 2 equal to 0. So okay, the remainder is nothing but 0. If we divide by actual division also, make this as a dividend and this as a divisor, means we'll get the remainder as 0 only. Okay, so the application of remainder theorem is nothing but we can find out the remainder without actual division. But it is not possible to get a quotient through the remainder theorem. Okay, and the next one, factor theorem. So what is the purpose of factor theorem? Okay, so the given divisor, the given polynomial is a factor of the another polynomial. How can we check it? For example, we can take the same example. So here let us take this as a dividend, that is x square plus 2x plus 1, and let us take x plus 1 as a divisor. How can we check whether x plus 1 is a factor of this one or not? It is very simple. The same thing. You can find out the remainder. Whether if it is 0 means, the remainder 0 means that x plus 1 is a factor of this one. Otherwise not. Okay. So in this example, we found that remainder is nothing but 0. Therefore, what is the conclusion here? So x plus 1 is a factor of x square plus 2x plus 1. Right? Suppose your remainder is not 0 means it is not a factor. Like that. Okay. And algebraic identities. So many identities are available. They are very important algebraic identities. In your higher studies also, definitely you are going to use these all identities. So thorough that. Okay. So just memorize that. Okay, write and practice it. So that formulas everything important. So with the help of those formulas, we found so many problems. We solved so many problems. Okay, square formula, cube formulas are there, and square of 3 terms and cube of 3 terms, everything there. So how many formulas? I think 9 or 10 formulas are available. So just write and practice it and thorough all the problems. Okay, that they are very important problems, right? Okay, so next we are going to see some of the few examples left in the exercise. So that will be in the next video. Okay, let us continue in the next video.